Welcome to Hookzilla. This week we discuss the movie Spookies.
What's this supposed to be? Looks sort of like a Parcheesi game or something.
I know what this is. I mean, I've never seen one like this before. It's a Ouija board.
Well, how do you play? Don't you need dice or something?
You don't play. The Ouija board is a tool for communication.
Communication with who?
The dead.
It's spooky as hell inside.
We're coming!
So when I was a kid, I got the opportunity to watch a lot of horror movies one summer. It kind of started specifically when I was like 6. And then every summer after that, I would watch every horror movie that the small town video store had. So some of these were, you know, pretty bad. Definitely not for a 6-year-old, but, you know, my relatives were pretty cool, so I watched it. A lot of these I haven't thought about. Some of them I've watched a million times since then. And these are the tried and true, you know, horror movies that we all watch constantly. But then there are some like this one, and I could remember bits and pieces, and the name obviously recalled imagery, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly what this was. But Vinegar Syndrome actually has released this on Blu-ray, and it is actually really good. Like, the quality is great. Like, I was amazed at how much better this looked than it did when I was a kid on VHS. Obviously, the quality is going to be better. There are things about it when I was a kid that absolutely terrified me, specifically the Spider Woman. She was horrible. Like, that was terrifying. The pulsating grave, when I was a child, like, graveyards were already scary because I was a kid, but a pulsating grave, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. And then there's this old woman and she screams. That still kind of scares me now. Like, old people are not my favorite. I'm sorry, like, it's true. I'm gonna get older and I'm already kind of old, but when I get there, hopefully I'm not terrifying. That's kind of how I feel about that. There are a lot of stereotypical things from an 80s horror movie. It's silly. The plot isn't really great. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's kind of all over the place. The characters are a little stereotypical. So Duke is kind of a douchebag, and his girlfriend is bouncing in a low-cut shirt with large breasts, and it's obviously playing into that character. Hashtag Duke will provide, because that is forever going to be a thing now. It's not horrible. Like, it's entertaining, obviously, even this many years later. There's some things about it that are absolutely hilarious, and I will freely admit that my adult self found the monsters that make fart sounds when they walk as funny as it was when I was 6. Like, I tried not to laugh, and it was kind of pointless because it was hilarious anyway, because farts are always funny. I don't care how old you get, it's still going to be funny. But if you get the opportunity, you should really check out Vinegar Syndrome and see this release specifically through that. The quality was so much better than I remembered. Yeah, the movie's what you expect from a movie of that time, of that genre. It is what it is, but it's actually pretty great. And it had a lot of really good memories. I, obviously remembered things as I watched the movie, like, oh yeah, I remember that monster, and I remember some of the practical effects being terrifying, and they still hold up, like they're still very good. But if you haven't seen this, you really should check it out. It's, I mean, it's not a very long movie. It held my attention, which for some things nowadays is kind of impossible, but it's fun. So if you want to have fun, watch this and let me know what you think. I really feel like going back to some of these movies that I haven't watched since I was a child is going to be what I enjoy the most about this channel. Obviously there are going to be some things I talk about that are new or classics, but some of the more obscure films from when I was a kid, those are going to be the ones that I really, really appreciate the most. So next week's film is going to be Green Room. It's a Jeremy Saulnier film. I recently watched everything I could find of his and absolutely am amazed by his entire body of work that I've been able to see. I'm sure there are things I've missed. If you haven't watched any of his work, you really should. But absolutely start with Green Room and join me next week when we talk about it.